Overthinking is the most expensive habit you have. It's killing your momentum. Let's talk about how to fix it. So why do smart entrepreneurs like yourself overthink? The simple and short answer to this is you don't have a strategy that actually translates and impacts your day-to-day work. First, let's talk about what a strategy is, because so many people get this wrong. People often think of a strategy as the tasks that you're doing on a daily basis, and that is not what it is. The strategy is the bigger picture of where you are headed in your business. I always say a good strategy tells you the destination. It tells you where you're going, where you want to end up, and it gives you a map for getting there. It gives you some sort of framework for how you're going to move towards that final destination. Here's the thing, having the map and having the final destination aren't enough. There's still a lot of details when it comes to how you are going to get to that end destination. For example, are you going to take the scenic route? Are you going to take a plane? Are you going to take a car? These are all really big details that impact how you're going to get to that end destination. But those details are not what's called a strategy. Again, strategy is what is the final destination? What is the framework for how we're going to get there? But those more nuanced details around what mode of transportation you're going to take, that is what we call operational planning. This is all about doing the right things at the right time every day. And most people do not have both of these elements down pat. They don't have a real strategy and they don't have a plan for their day-to-day operations. This is ultimately what's causing you to overthink, because every day you're getting up and you have to make decision after decision after decision. Some of those decisions might be in line with moving you to your final destination. Some of them might not be. You're not 100% sure because you don't really have a strong pulse on your business, on the health of your business, on your day-to-day operations. But these two aspects go hand in hand when it comes to running a successful business, and they also play such a big role in preventing you from overthinking. Let's talk about how. The biggest way that they help you in not having to overthink is the fact that they give you a plan. They give you a clear roadmap that tells you what to do next. One of the ways in which I've worked one-to-one with a lot of entrepreneurs is by helping them develop 90-day action plans. Because honestly, you're not the only one in a position where you're just not sure what to do next. Are you doing the right things daily in your business? Something that a lot of people struggle with, but ultimately this is what makes you feel so overwhelmed. The fatigue of having to make a million decisions is no joke. And again, a plan helps you overcome that, because you no longer have to think, you just show up and you execute based on a plan that has already been laid out for you, that doesn't require a lot of retrospection, a lot of thinking. It's already in line with the bigger strategy that moves you in the direction that you're headed towards. The reason why that's so important is there are real consequences to overthinking. The first, which I've kind of touched on, is decision fatigue. Again, it's just exhausting to mentally have to make that many decisions every day. That decision fatigue can easily lead to burnout, which is not a position that anyone wants to be in. Trust me, I've been there. The second consequence is analysis paralysis. I'm sure we've all heard this term before, but analysis paralysis is when we literally freeze when having to make decisions. And a lot of the time we freeze when having to make decisions because it's just so overwhelming for us, or because we don't necessarily have all the data that we need in order to make a decision. Again, this goes back to that planning that I was talking about earlier. That planning is made in line with the data, and you know 100% that it rolls up to the final destination that you're headed towards. So there's no analysis paralysis, you just have to show up and execute. And one of the biggest consequences of overthinking is missed opportunities. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk about this enough. I told a really good story about an entrepreneur friend that I have who was completely on the ball and was able to land and score herself some really big opportunities, which I think so many people would have fumbled along the way. You guys can check out that story in the video linked above or down below in the description box if you want to hear it. And it is very easy to find yourself in a position where you are missing opportunities. Let's get straight into the no-fluff action plan that will stop you from overthinking and help you move faster. Step number 1 is you just want to be able to make a decision faster. But the question is, how do we do that? One of the biggest ways in which we can do this is staying in our zone of genius. Here's the thing, if you are a solopreneur, if you're the only person working in your business, or if you just have a small team that supports you, whether it's contractors or virtual assistants, then chances are you are doing a million different things. And of those million different things, you are not an expert expert in all of them. This ultimately completely slows you down and stops you from being able to make decisions quickly. If you're not sure which aspects of your business that you should be focusing on as the CEO, as the boss, I have a free resource down below in the description box that can help you understand what tasks you should be working on daily as opposed to what tasks you should not be working on daily. So once you are playing in your zone of genius sandbox, you are going to be able to make decisions 10 times faster than you would when it comes to something that is not in your zone of genius. The second step is to set a 24-hour deadline. Guys, we've all been in that position where we have very simple things we have to do in our business, but we push them on to the next day and the next day and the next day, even though it's something that'll only take us 5 minutes to do. You have to create a sense of urgency in your business and make sure you set deadlines. This requires being organized and having everything in one centralized place. A really good tool that I use for this is Notion's calendar. Guys, I have used so many different calendar systems. I have paid for calendar apps. This is literally a free resource that is so amazing. It integrates all of my calendars. Like, I literally have 3 to 4 different emails. It allows me to see everything in a centralized space, color coded, and I plug all my important tasks and deadlines into there. So find something that works for you that allows you to have a high level of visibility when it comes to those urgent tasks. And another step is to execute small. So this is really focused on getting those small daily wins. I would highly suggest starting off your day before you even open your emails, before you even get into things. You should have your top 3 to-do items. So one of those top 3 tasks might be that high urgent, high priority item you set yourself as a task from the day before. But you should be walking into your day with those top 3 tasks already listed for you, or have one major goal for the day. But even that one goal should be broken down into micro actions. So how do you achieve that one goal, whatever it might be? Assign to it 3 micro actions that you can actively take and work towards. This is what gets you moving, guys. It's by uncomplicating and demystifying everything. Remember, you are fully capable. You have all of the skills that you need. It is a total myth that you need more clarity or more information to get things done. You've already gotten things done in the past. Just reflect on how much you've already accomplished. Follow these simple steps. Get that free resource down below in the description box. All of these things will help you get unstuck and keep you moving. You really need to own the idea that done is better than perfect. Perfectionism is a total myth. It's impossible to achieve. And the reality is, guys, we are scrappy entrepreneurs. You need to get up, show up, and just do what you need to do every single day. It won't always look perfect, but at the end of the day, that person who is showing up and taking 2 to 3 steps forward is in such a better position at the end of the year than a person who has stood in the same spot just analyzing and thinking and overthinking. Let me know if there's something in this video that you learned down below in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.